Hey everybody, the Reeswerrel here, and welcome back to more of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Okay. Continue! Day 2, Trial Former. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, the day of the trial. Let me guess, the trial, or this entire day is going to take several hours. So February 23rd, 9:34. Yeah, nice. Oh god, pardon me. So how did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of grey areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big grey area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. Eh? The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. One's alive and one's dead. You're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. I mean, we have her with us. Yeah, Emma will be helping us. But she's not a spirit medium, so she can't call upon Mia. The court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh, it's Edgeworth, again. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth? Oh, I haven't been in court since Edgeworth's trial. It's been a while now. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. Huh? I will choose the path I think is right regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. There always is. A professional witness. What? Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen. Well, there she is. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Oh my god. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. The heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Angel Starr was a Miss Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough Up. That's why she had that nickname. Cough Up Queen Angel Star, Your Honour. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Star. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. Okay. So the parking lot of the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes. The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with a knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honour. So we got the floor plans. Cool. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honour. Immediately after that, I apprehended the Chief Prosecutor. Seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honour. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honour. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Star. Wait, are they talking about me? I would say so. Mr. Wright. So the witness's account. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely hoped detective instincts working. Bloody hell. Then through a wire fence I saw the Chief Prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Chief Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Jesus. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Yay! So, she always knew a day like this would come. That's a very odd thing to state. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro. As you know, my testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Okay. On her way to deliver a lunchbox to her boyfriend. Which boyfriend? This boyfriend. He's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunch, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. Okay. Okay, yeah. It's up on the 2nd level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Indeed. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Sense something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective instincts working. You sensed something, so you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say... oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Me neither. Speaking of a detective's instincts, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. Young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. A newbie. I, of course, am hard-yellowed, sharp as a tack. I bet you stink, too. In any case, there in the lot I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Then through a wire fence I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. By garish car you mean... Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. One odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant. I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. Getting my frickin' letters mixed up. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always complain. Hey, Prigter. How's it going? Witness, in your testimony you clearly state the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you're a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. Oh dear. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. This chick's scary. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. Okay... A photograph? You took this? The moment I've witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. Huh. Suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. This is my first time seeing this photograph. You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. Wow. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Oh no. This is just looking, like, worse and worse. Uh-oh. That is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. No, she wasn't. Hold up. Present. No, in that picture she has nothing in her right hand. It's just a sleeve, if anything. I'll just double check. I was about to say, unless I'm getting them mixed up, but no, in her right hand she's definitely not holding anything. Unless it's under the sleeve, which... Can you actually see her hand? Oh wait, no you can. She's just wearing the jacket over. She's not actually wearing it. She's not holding anything. Interesting. Yeah, bitch. I object. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with the knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. Every time he says that, makes me remember Nickelback. Also, I don't understand. Sorry. I only speak English, or understand English. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, was it not? And why is Miss Skye not holding a knife? Cha-ching! Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. Let's be a little more careful with our evidence, shall we? It is you that need to be more careful, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. It was taken the moment after the stabbing. How can you tell that? Blood splatter? Huh? See the dark crimson stain on the Chief Prosecutor's coat? It's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem. Except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? Objection! Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. Correct. That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. What? Good advice. Not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor's guy was called calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Jesus. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the Chief Prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Oh no, he dealt a fatal blow. His gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offence. Can it be more serious than just murder? I mean, really? Add this to your testimony. So the murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. Wait. Oh. Does this not technically incriminate her, though? Because it said the rubber gloves prove it. Because this has no prints, which would be the case if she was wearing gloves. Oh, I don't know. It seems like a risky move, but go for it. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh, that's a good point. The knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Oh, damn. She dropped her lunch. Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favour. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Yeah, I doubt it. Her trial is not over in 20 minutes. No, more like 2 hours. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove. Or need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If she wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? God, we're seeing a lot of her evil side. Or more bitchy side. Maybe not evil. My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Alright. Angel's deduction. My goodness. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. Does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Awesome! The only one I can really think there being a problem with is her final statement, where she said she stabbed again and again. So... yeah, that one. What does the autopsy say? One knife wound. There you go. As I thought. You're watching this 15 minutes now. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. If you mean I only started 15 minutes ago, then you're more or less right. Because I started 20 minutes ago. You said she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Oof. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Ah, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero. Really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. What is this? Oh my god. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realise that such mistakes are possible. So you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Okay. I mean, it's a game from 17 years ago, so, you know. Splattered blood from her victim. And also, it's Ace Attorney, which I would probably say is better than Criminal Case, although I've never played Criminal Case. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. God damn. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Okay. I mean, is it really quite hard to see what this is? Oh dear. Miss Starr's probably been the weirdest. What? So I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. Clearly. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself. With this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a true professional could be so clueless. I'm sure you'll make a good lady, good lunch lady. Have no fear. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude. Now back to business. What? Sheesh. Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Whew, boy. This is a mess. Yeah, she's just... I don't know, she's all over the place. So after the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star resistance is futile. What on earth? You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. And no thanks. Note to self. Attorney Wright gets bitten by snake. What the fuck? The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay. So, apprehending her. My goodness. Attempt to run behind a petition off to her side. I mean, might as well just press. Hold it! So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. What did you do then? Caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly, were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe we should press it for more details. Yeah, go for it. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from... here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. There was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing! The cough-up queen, lunch lady, athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, the fence... I was gonna say, it wasn't just, like, a chain that you could step over. It was about 9 feet high too. How come Miss Sky didn't get away? Something stinks. Arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Sure. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? You mean this cell phone? Okay. I mean, I did find that. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon, heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. Chief Prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right, near the car. There was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? Ay ay ay. You should of course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this